A memorandum of understanding for 5 years has been signed between the UK and the Philippines, referring to maritime domain, enhancing partnership when it comes to that, identifying that as a priority, and also other defense engagements. What exactly does that, what is the scope of that?
Yeah, I think the first thing to say is that as the UK, we're also a maritime country. So we've got a lot of understanding of what are the challenges that maritime countries face. And we've got a big navy and lots of interest in collaboration on maritime law and maritime domain awareness, or IUUF, which is illegal, unregulated, unreported fishing. And so there's a lot that we can do together. But the MOU that you were referring to is specifically a defense MOU, and it really opens the door for more training, more ship visits. We've seen a lot more ship visits in the last year and a half than we've done in the last 10 years, quite frankly. And that means more exercises together. And then projects that are also around supporting capability enhancements, so supporting Horizon 3 in particular, and supporting the Philippines as it increases its deterrence capability.
Does that cover an exchange of tangible assets? For instance, are we purchasing more warships, frigates, other Navy assets? Does that cover it?
Exactly. So it's not necessarily frigates or warships, but there will be different, possibly jets or different tools that are going to be in the pipeline that we hope the Philippines will purchase from the UK.
Very, very curious to know about what you'd like to do when it comes to strengthening maritime law enforcement. Because as we know, when it comes to the 2016 arbitral award, one of the sectors that's been, one of the issues with it rather, is the ability to enforce what has been awarded to the Philippines. I mean, how does Britain see maritime law enforcement?
I think the first thing to say here is that we view the Philippines' approach in the last year and a half as very successful. So what has been called strategic transparency, which to all intents and purposes is about shining a light on what's happening in the West Philippine Sea. And they say sunshine is the best disinfectant, don't they? So shining a light and then internationalizing the issue. So making more and more countries, such as the UK, but others as well, aware of what's happening, in part also through having so many international journalists on Filipino Coast Guard ships. And so it's made the news across lots of our media houses, raised not just the attention of government, but of citizens across the world. And I think that's been really, really powerful. So continuing to do that in a fashion that is measured, considered, and cautious, I think is really, really powerful. And in so doing, we're all learning about UNCLOS, about the 2016 arbitral award, which quite frankly, henceforth, had you not been a Philippine specialist or an UNCLOS specialist, you might not have heard about the 2016 arbitral award. And I think more and more people do know about that, which is really important. I would also surmise that it's important to work with a variety of partners on this, which has been the Philippines' approach to diversify partnerships, to support not just bilateral engagements with the big partners, but more partners, because everyone brings to different strengths to bear, different relationships to bear, and different perspective. I'd say it's also very important to continue to work with ASEAN partners and friends, because ultimately these are the Philippines' neighbors, and it is important that ASEAN continues to also take a strong position on issues of international law in the West Philippine Sea and more broadly the South China Sea.
Okay, what can we cooperate on in terms of maritime domain?
Well, so maritime domain is more about, I'd say, hydrographic. So right now, I think just this week in the Philippines, we have our UK hydrographic office that's here, that's helping to support some of the mapping of the sea, so that it's more useful for the Filipino Navy to be able to know exactly what the lay of the land is, so to speak. So that's on the maritime domain awareness. But on the capability point, it's much more about interoperability. Can never pronounce that word.
Neither can we.
Sorry?
Neither can
Ooh,
we.
it's a challenging one. And about potentially joint sales and continuing to make the relationship grow from strength to strength.